We're looking at 5 big ways that Time Magazine's bicentennial issue in 1976 differs from its 2026 semi-quincentennial issue today. So the third way these issues really differ is their coverage of diversity. You're just not going to get a whole lot of Black people and women and immigrants and Indigenous people in the 1976 version. You do get this article, Not All Are Created Equal. It is mostly about Lord Dunmore's proclamation offering freedom for American slaves if they will fight in the British lines against their patriot owners. We get a little bit about the idea of maybe freeing American enslaved people to have them fight in the Continental Army and shutting that down because they don't want it to inspire slave rebellions. And of course, George Washington, a slave owner, is leading that military. They have an excerpt of the Declaration of Independence showing like different parts of it that were edited or revised before it was fully approved by the Second Continental Congress. They leave off the final grievance entirely. And if you know anything about the Declaration, that's the grievance that both blames King George for slave rebellions in the colonies because of Lord Dunmore's proclamation and refers to Native Americans as quote unquote savages. The number of slaves Jefferson owns is only brought up to show us his socioeconomic status in the 1976 version. We get a very short section on Phyllis Wheatley and how Washington liked her and met her one time. We get a little section on Mercy Otis Warren as a playwright criticizing the British and a little shout out to Abigail Adams in that section. And then the second to last page is just called The Sexes, and this is a very odd page to me as a women's historian. We start out with Remember the Ladies because we knew that was coming right from Abigail Adams and how John Adams shuts that down. And then it just turns into like a women's wortherly section where they're like, there are women doing notable things in the colonies. Let's list them without doing anything else. So we learn that there are 10 female publishers in the colonies now, United States. We hear about Eliza Pinckney in the South doing her thing in agriculture. We hear about Mother Ann Lee doing her thing in the ministry. And that's it. We just get like this list of women that are doing things like they exist. We acknowledge their existence. In the 2026 version, we have more women, Indigenous people, immigrants, Black people who are part of this revolution, and their story just doesn't get to be included in the same way in the 1976 version. This includes sections on Martha Washington, Thyandana Joya, Lafayette, Esther DeBert Reed, Deborah Sampson, Salem Poor, just a lot more representation of people who were left out of this 1976 version of the story. For the last 2 big ways these issues differ, and one way in which they are remarkably similar, follow me to part 3.